Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon, a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or when I upload another video. And today we're going to talk about Amber Wells, Summer Wells, the Amber Alert. I got the words mixed up. We're going to talk about Summer Wells and the Amber Alert, why it was removed off the highway billboards. I received so much messages in regards to this subject, and I felt it was necessary to do a pinpoint video explaining why law enforcement, or potentially why they took the steps that they did. Before we do that, I want to just show you a little bit of quick media, but I want to say special thank you to my Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all the folks who positively interact in all of these live streams. You guys are greatly appreciated. And I want to just say thank you to the replay viewers and all the folks who leave comments down below in the comment section. I greatly appreciate the interaction. You know, it's great when you have a live stream and you ask questions and the chat starts flying, but it's also excellent when you get to interact with a creator down below in the comment section. When you send a question or a comment, it's always great to have that back and forth dialogue. You know, we're all emotionally attached to Summer Wells and the circumstances, the sketchy circumstances that surround her disappearance. And we have good reason to be suspicious and look at it in a sketchy way, because the story is not completely definitive. It keeps changing and it keeps having little twists and turns to it. And that leads us as civilians and the police and investigators who are investigating it to scratch their head and say, what's going on here? What's really going on here? So it is unfortunate that we have a situation like that. I'm going to put up on the board now, because I want to just get right into the Amber Alerts. I'm going to put up on the board and I'm going to take myself off the screen. This is a consumer guide to Amber Alerts, folks. Okay. And this is coming from the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. So I'll read it for you. And I'm hoping that all of you can put a 1 in the chat if my audio is good and you could see the wording here. If the wording is good for you, let me know. If you need me to make it bigger, let me know. I could do that too. But just let me know in the chat, if by a show of hands, if the audio is okay. I did a little adjustment and I don't want it to be too loud and blowing out your ears. I cranked it up. I pumped up the volume just a tad bit. So I want to make sure it's good. Gemma's Journey Grace says it's okay. So I'm thinking it's good. All right, great. Thank you, Keg. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Princess Mitch, Philly, Barb, Joyce, Dawn Marie, Navy Vet, Darlene. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, folks. All right, so we could see it says Amber Alerts. Amber Alerts are used by law enforcement to notify the public about missing children thought to have been abducted. There's a key words right here. Thought to have been abducted. Amber Alerts are only used for the serious child abduction cases. Now, remember, DonWells, the father of Summer Wells, is still to this day saying his daughter was abducted, right? So here's something key for us to key in and home in on. I do this because of my investigative background, but for those of you who are out there playing internet detective, these are things to key in on. It says in the Amber Alert, the Amber Alerts are used by law enforcement to notify the public about missing children thought to have been abducted. Amber Alerts are only, I have it highlighted, used for the most serious child abduction cases when authorities believe a child is in imminent danger or serious bodily injury or death. The goal of an Amber Alert is to add millions of extra eyes and ears to watch, listen, and help in the safe return of the child and the apprehension of the abductor. Okay, this paragraph is so key. The Amber Alert was removed off the board, and there's no set time limit for why and how long an Amber Alert sits there. But if you read this paragraph and really absorb what this first paragraph says, and it's a short paragraph, it tells us that there could be a potential. It tells us there could be a potential that law enforcement does not buy, and I'll highlight the abducted word, that the law enforcement is not buying that she was abducted. Now, I'm not saying this is what the case is, what's happening with the case. Hold on a second. All right, this is not me telling you guys that this is 100% definitive what the investigators are homing in on and why they took it down. But I look at this as Amber Alerts are only used for the most serious child abduction cases when authorities believe a child is in imminent danger or serious bodily injury or death. Paul Peck Drywall, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Always great to see you, Paul Peck. So by a show of hands in the chat, is everybody following me here on a little bit of detective work? This is coming straight from a 20-year New York City law enforcement detective. This is my take on it, and it's not necessarily 100%, but I have a feeling that this could be one of the contributing factors, folks, that they do not feel she was abducted, as Don and his wife are alluding to. Okay, the theory of someone just waiting for her to snatch just her and her alone as a way of getting back at DonWells or Candace Wells is it's a reach for me. It's a reach for me. Let's continue on with the reading, folks. How an Amber Alert works. Law enforcement officials use Amber Alerts with photos and information about the missing children and possible abductors, along with contact numbers to report sightings, to provide information. Amber Alerts are sent to a radio and television stations and cable TV outlets, which may use the emergency alert system. Those of you who are in the area of Churchill, Rogersville, Hawkins County, show me in the chat if you received the Amber Alert by putting a 1 in the chat. If anybody is here in the Tennessee area, and I think that it went up as far down as Nashville, let me know in the chat if you were one of the folks who received the Amber Alert on June 15th. I think it went out June 16th or 15th. It was an emergency alert, and then they upgraded it a day later to the Amber Alert. Okay. Buddy 2021 says, got the alert. Okay. All right. So Rebecca got it. Went to Huntsville, says Crystal Waters. Wow. It traveled pretty far. It did in Knoxville. Thank you to all my folks in Tennessee. And I want to say a special prayer and sending prayers and positive vibes to the folks in Tennessee, the great people of the state of Tennessee. What unbelievable community that came out and supplied law enforcement and the searchers with water, food, gloves, shelter, tents, pop-up tents, and the things that went on at the church where the emergency rescue squads were set up, were just miraculous. You know, it was unbelievable what I saw from the folks from Tennessee. So I tip my cap to all of you guys and give thanks and praise and respect for the great people of Tennessee in the way that you guys came out and continue to come out and show support for Summer Wells. And that includes all the church folks and all the people that are good human beings, that have no malintent, that don't have any negative, bad intentions. They just want to find Summer Wells and bring her home. Whether it's alive or dead, you want to bring her home. And that's what those folks in Tennessee and in the surrounding states in the United States and across the world, that's what they want. Law enforcement officials may also transmit Amber Alerts using the Wireless Emergency Alert, WEA system. The WEA is capable of sending, this is what you get. The WEA sends it to your mobile devices and wireless carriers. So I don't know why it's not letting me highlight this, but okay, there we go. So DutyRon's again challenged in the technical part. I'll get better at this, I promise. Law enforcement officials also transmit the Amber Alerts using wireless emergency alert system, the WEA. WEA is capable of sending it out to the mobile devices and wireless carriers. And then it says, what can you do if you see a child or adult or vehicle fitting the Amber Alert description? Immediately call the telephone number given in the Amber Alert and provide authorities with as much information as possible. All right, so this is just basically giving you an update on an actual overview on what the Amber Alerts are and what they're there for. So it's my opinion that perhaps the authorities that are investigating this case are now buying the abduction that we hear the Wells family speak about, and they speak about it on a regular basis. I want to play a quick video of these are some recent ones, so bear with me. I'm going to play these for you so you can see some of the folks that might be outside of the United States or within the United States that don't have cable TV, might not have access to these reports. So I'm playing this for the folks who may not have access to it. So let's play a couple of the recent videos that have been circulating from the news. Let's get that going. And as soon as DutyRon and advanced technology starts cooperating, we will play it. Here we go. Not too bad, DutyRon. Got to tip my cap sometimes to myself. All right, here we go.
Wells in Hawkins County. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for choosing News Channel 11 at noon on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Cindy Kessler. Now, today marks 1 month in the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells in Hawkins County. This afternoon, the child remains at the center of a statewide Amber Alert. And new this afternoon, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says 978 tips have been received, but still no sign of the little girl. News Channel 11's Bianca Murray joins.
Okay, this is a little old. We know it's over 1,000 tips. It's from Thursday. I have one from yesterday. We're going to play right after this.
Us live in studio with a latest update from the family of Summer Wells.
Sydney, I spoke with Summer's father, Donald Wells, this morning. He tells me that the family is having a hard time coping with Summer's disappearance, which, as you said, marks 1 month today. Donald Wells sharing this statement to me, which reads in part, quote, "The misinformation being circulated is not helping to find Summer. People on..."
Hey guys, I understand what Donald Wells and what anybody says about misinformation. But by a show of hands, who's on board with me with this? My concern wouldn't be right now about what people are saying about me and my family. If in fact I really was innocent and wanted to find my son or daughter, I wouldn't give a flying what anybody was saying on any social media. It wouldn't matter to me. I would just be like, I don't care what people are saying. It doesn't mean anything to me. What matters to me is where my daughter is, where she went. I mean, you could talk about me till you're blue in the face. I wouldn't give a My primary concern and efforts at this point would be focusing on A, clearing myself from any involvement, and B, first and foremost, is finding my daughter. I'd be searching every day. I would hire a helicopter to fly me around if I had to. I would get an ATV and be driving through that terrain looking for my daughter. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Social media are only adding to the pain the family is going through. He went on to say that all of it is adding to the workload for detectives and distracting from the real goal of finding Summer, end quote.
Who's distracting the detectives? People who are calling in potential tips? I don't think so. People sending detectives on wild goose chases? I think so. I think those folks that are sending police on wild goose chases. And that could very well be our friends, DonWells and Candace Wells. It could be. I mean, this could go either way. But at the end of the day, there's so many holes in this story. There's so many holes in the conversation. It's not good.
Donald Wells also told me that his other children are also being affected by Summer's disappearance, including what he calls, in his words, social media attacks on the family. I'll have more on the ongoing search for Summer later tonight on News Channel 11.
Okay.
Bianca, thank you. Now,
I'm going to leave that up just for a minute so people can look at it. 1-800-TBI-FIND. Tips to TBI at tn.gov. If you know something, if you heard something, definitely say something, please. Over 1,000 tips and nothing that's led to credible information. How frustrating is that for the entire community and the law enforcement folks?
anyone with information.
Very, very, very exhausting. Let me see what else I got. I want you guys to see the teacher, the Sabbath school teacher. She put a plea out, I think, a day or so ago. Let's take a peek at what she has to say. This is the woman that you see, Summer, in the arms of.
You reached day 30.
I refuse to play any of those videos from the church. I definitely wouldn't do it. I don't encourage anybody to do it, but that's just me. I wouldn't play it. Let's hear what she has to say. It was interesting to hear. You know, again, I would never attack her on social media. I wouldn't attack anybody on social media, to be honest with you. I think it's important that you get behind law enforcement and help support the community for the searches and to find out what the hell happened to her, not to bash people. Let's listen to this.
As we reach the search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells continues today as we reach day 31 since the little Hawkins County girl was reported missing.
News Channel 11's Bianca Murray spoke with Summer's Sabbath school teacher about how much the little girl meant to her and the church they attend.
Summer's parents told us she really looked up to her Sabbath school teacher as a role model. Yesterday, I heard from Robin Lane how much Summer meant to her and her experience from the night Summer disappeared.
Whenever I was helping teach Sabbath school, she was in my lap. And sometimes it was hard to teach because she wanted to be in my lap, holding me and hugging me. I just discovered that it was actually easier for me just to hold her and let her love on me and hug me and teach with her on me than it was to make her sit in a chair.
Robin Lane tells me she had a close bond with Summer.
She was a helper. She loved to help. She loved to love on us. And
let me tell you the vibe, my detective vibe that I get from her Sabbath teacher. I think she's a good person. I think she has nothing to do with it. I think she's a good church-going woman. And that's my personal opinion. You can have an opinion on her. It doesn't mean that you need to go and bash her and say that she was involved in the disappearance of this young 5-year-old Summer Wells. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous for anybody to come at this teacher. So my initial take from her, she seems like a good person, a good godly person. So, and that's my opinion. You can have your own, but what does it get you going after her on social media? And you'll hear her say that she's getting attacked on social media, which is just horrific. It's just a sad state of affairs that humanity is in, that you could go out and do something like that.
And I just loved her little arms around my neck all the time.
She recalled she was attending her own daughter's dance recital the night Summer disappeared.
I was taking my little girl's pictures before her dance class, and I noticed I was missing calls from Candace. Before I even had a chance to call her, she messaged me again on Facebook Messenger, and she was just in a panic mode. And she says, "Summer's gone. We can't find her anywhere. The police are here searching." And I said, "I'll be right there."
Lane said she arrived at the Beach Creek area around 9 p.m. on June 15th. The night Summer was reported missing.
I was ready. I was like, let's do this. Let's get the flashlights out. Let's get some snacks in our bags. You know, it's going to be an all-nighter, you know.
Okay. Anybody catch and home in? See, I like to pick apart some things here, right? Let's get some snacks. Let's get some flashlights. Let's get searching. I haven't heard, and I even asked Trevor Lee, the young 19-year-old student, about Don and Candace Wells. I asked him if he saw them. I didn't do it on video. I did it behind the scenes when him and I were just talking. I asked him did you ever see them out searching? Or did you ever see them out with the searchers at the church when there was the command post there? And he said no. But this woman was like, let's get our snacks and let's get our searchlights. And she was ready to go out and search. Don't forget, 6 o'clock at night, around 6-ish, is when everything got going. So it was going to get dark soon. This woman has nothing to do with the disappearance of Summer Wells. All she has to do is provide that child with love, affection, and godliness. If you, as a human being, and I don't even call you a human, go and attack this woman, you need to seek mental health counseling. I'm going to put it back so you could just get a look and get the vibe off of this lady. If you can't get the vibe off this young woman, then something wrong.
And they
with
wouldn't
you.
let us. They wouldn't let us eat. And I said, I'll be right there.
Lane said she arrived at the Beach Creek area around 9 p.m. on June 15th,
Listen
the
to
night
this.
Summer was reported missing.
I was ready. I was like, let's do this. Let's get the flashlights out. Let's get some snacks in our bags. It's going to be an all-nighter, And they wouldn't let us. They wouldn't let us even go up there.
Police blocking the entrance.
Can you see how sincere that woman is? I mean, I've been doing an interview and interrogation for over 20 years. That's not someone that's deceptive or that has anything to do with any of the nefarious activities that happen upon Summer Wells. This is a church godly woman who goes to church and prays. And if you are a part of the mob mentality that's going after these church folks and these people, then you really should seek mental health counseling.
To Ben Hill Road, Lane says she offered assistance the only way she could.
We showed them some pictures of Summer. The police didn't have very good pictures of her, or some of them hadn't even seen a picture of her yet.
Later that night, she was granted access to the Wells home.
At that point, there's really nothing I could do. They just needed someone to pray with them. You feel really helpless in that situation because you want to do something. It makes you feel better to do something. But we couldn't, so we just prayed and we just hugged on them and loved on the boys. And they, of course, were just shattered and just confused, as was I.
Lane says police wouldn't allow them to assist in the search.
And then we had to go home, and it was really hard driving home with her not being found. Helicopters everywhere, search dogs everywhere, police everywhere, and there's nothing that you can do to help.
Tonight at 6, hear how the members of the...
So, again, I got to pool the chat because I want to see how many people are on board. By a show of hands, by putting a 1 in the chat, who agrees with me about this church woman? And I have seen her speak about being personally attacked online. If you sent her a direct message or a message underneath a message that she put for hope and recovery and return of Summer Wells, you got some serious issues. That's a serious problem. Thank you. Thank you. And much love and respect to everyone who understands what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything that's outside the box here. This is just common sense 101. And, again, I feel sorry for anybody who lacks that common sense. We're talking about what's most important here is finding Summer Wells, bringing her home, getting closure, whether she's alive or dead, not attacking people who you think are guilty. You can talk about it, but you take it one step further and it's almost borderline criminal to now start sending messages to the potential perpetrators of this crime, or the disappearance of Summer Wells, to the potential people who covered up if it was an accident and she did slip and fall and hit her head, and now they're covering up because they don't want to take responsibility. However this went down, and nobody knows how it went down, to do that is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, guys. Let me set up the next one.
Kingsport's 7-day advance.
Hold on a second. Got one more piece, but I'm fighting technology, as I always do. Okay. Here it is. This is what I wanted to show you. So that was the nice report. She talked about what she did the night of. You guys heard her say what she did the night of. Now let's listen to the report of the attacks on the church.
Marks 1 month.
The father of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells is speaking out again, this time to address what he calls negativity circulating on social media.
Today marks 1 month since family members say the Hawkins County 5-year-old girl was last seen at her home in the Beach Creek community. That was June 15th. In a statement to News Channel 11, DonWells addressed what he said are attacks on his family and misinformation, saying, quote, "It's affecting my other children who already are hurting."
Again, I'm going to say it again. Anybody that sends a message to DonWells or his wife or anybody within that family, it puts you in the same level of criminal behavior. You have no business sending any message of nastiness or anything to anybody. You don't know them. We know what they're saying we don't like, but who are we to become thugs and now start sending death threats and messages of hate? I mean, come on, man. You're losing focus on what's important here. When you do stuff like that, you lose focus on the prize, and the prize is finding out what the heck happened to Summer Wells. So if you know of anybody that's doing that, stay far away from them because it's criminal behavior.
Wells said now it's escalating to threats and potentially putting my other children in danger, end quote.
New at 6 News Channel 11's Bianca Murray spoke with members of the Wells Family Church who say that they've also been the target for social media backlash.
And let me just say this too. This is not any way, shape, or form me sticking up for DonWells or Candace Wells. I'm not here to stick up for them because I don't know them. But I'm here to tell you that the police are going to do a thorough job, the TBI, the FBI, and the locals. They're going to do a thorough job in figuring out the mystery. The pieces of the puzzle have to be put together. And they got thousands of pieces. That's the 1,000 leads that came in that haven't brought them anywhere, that don't fit together. Their job is to take and find information and go down the little branches of the information superhighway and figure out. And they always talk about, we as investigators talk about one piece, because sometimes it's one piece that brings you to finding out what happened. And we hope and pray that that happens. But it's not going to happen by us being thugs and being subhumans and sending death threats to church members and people who you think are guilty. Even if you think that person's guilty, how dare you go and send them a message like, "Where's your daughter? Hope you die." Things that I've seen. Those are just a few of them that I've seen. I would never, ever, ever send a message to somebody like that, even if I thought that they're guilty. And I told you guys that I think DonWells and Candace Wells' story stinks. It stinks of shit. But I would never send them a personal message like, "I'm going to come and lock you up. I can't wait for you to be arrested." Sickening, man. It's embarrassing. It's thug-like.
The Wells family attends the Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Kingsport, where the pastor tells me the membership is only around 200. The small church family tells me they have been bombarded with hate on social media simply for being close to the case.
These false accusations aren't helping anybody. Taking videos of our church services and looking for Summer Wells and trying to maybe put together some type of a theory or
there you go. So there's the pastor. This is someone who provides people a house of worship where you can come and pray when you have no other, when you're at your wit's end. You turn, most people, whether you're religious or not, at the end of your life, you turn to God. I don't know one dying person that hasn't turned to God. And I can even say my own father, who was not very religious, he turned to God on his deathbed when he was in hospice dying of cancer. So almost everybody, no matter what, speaks or prays to God. And if you don't believe in God, that's okay. I'm not going to bash you. I'm not going to say, you're a bad person. But when it comes to the time to meet your maker, almost everybody, even the most unreligious, people that are anti-church or stay away from it for whatever, there's tons of, reasons why people stay away from church. They always get drawn back into God when it comes to the end. So at the end of it all, it is what it is, Air S says, and I just looked down and see this, stop being an armchair detective. You're not qualified. I mean, if you don't have any qualifications and you've never investigated a missing person or a homicide or any of these type of cases, then definitely that statement is true. Air S said it good. Stop trying to be an armchair detective when you're not qualified. Very good statement. If that Air S is still here, I'm going to send some claps to you. I wish I had a clapping machine. I do have one. I could make claps here, but I don't have all that stuff done. Let's listen to what the pastor says.
A conspiracy or some type of thought. It not to maybe looking for Summer Wells and trying to maybe put together some type of a theory or a conspiracy or some type of thought. It's not based on any evidence, and it's false, and it just hurts people and discourages people.
Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist pastor David Ryder tells me his congregation is struggling to cope with the disappearance of their 5-year-old church member.
They have, struggled with losing sleep at night, not eating, you could say even depression, just almost being sick over what's happened to Summer.
Summer's Sabbath school teacher Robin Lane tells me she's been at the center of social media accusations since her student's disappearance.
People just, they pick through everything you say and the way you say it. And even if your voice sounds a little.
Hold on. I got to address this because this was good. Somebody said, DutyRon, but you are saying repeatedly that their story stinks. Isn't that blaming the parents? Yes, I say the story stinks, but guess what? Miss Jensky one, you're missing what I'm saying here. I say that the parent story stinks, but I don't go after them. I'm not sending them messages on Facebook, Fakebook, and social media and wishing death onto them. I'm not going and sending them private messages. Hey, you need to go turn yourself in. You're guilty. I'm talking from a police perspective, from law enforcement. I listen to their statement and it stinks. There's a difference between saying that and then going in their inbox into their message, direct messages, and start sending hate to them. There's a big difference, man. You're not getting the message. There's a difference between talking about it adult-like amongst yourselves, and then there's a difference when you go and you go one step too far. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? I hope that the message is clear and concise. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Some people just misconstrue what you're trying to say. The message that I'm sending is you can talk about it as adults, but you don't have to go in their face and send them messages and harass them. Get a grip.
Shaky. It's nervous getting on camera sometimes. It's normal. People just, they pick through everything you say and the way you say it. And even if your voice sounds a little shaky, it's nervous getting on camera sometimes. It's normal for us to be a little nervous sometimes when we're being asked questions. But people are they just attack every single little thing that you say and do. And I just feel like it's not fair.
She's asking those on social media to think before they type.
That people who are messaging those mean things, that they need to remember that that is a real person that they are talking to. It may just look like a little profile picture. It may not even be the person's face.
Almost being sick over what's happened to Summer.
Summer's Sabbath school teacher, Robin Lane, tells me she's been at the center of social media accusations since her student's disappearance.
People just, they pick through everything you say and the way you say it. And even if your voice sounds a little shaky, it's nervous getting on camera sometimes. It's normal for us to be a little nervous sometimes when we're being asked questions. But people are just, they just attack every single little thing that you say and do. And I just feel like it's not fair.
She's asking those on social media to think before they type.
That people who are messaging those mean things.
Think before you type. And that goes for comment section, direct messages, in the chat. And just so you know, I'm going to go back over the chat and review any type of messages that are hateful towards anybody, whether it's myself or guests or people that are here, or just things that I feel are inappropriate. It'll be a block. And that's how I do it. If you want to be toxic, then there's plenty of streets to go down that are toxic and that will engage you. But I certainly won't. I won't do it. If you misconstrue my statements of what I talk about from a police perspective and you don't like what I say, then there's so many other choices. There's so many other places you could go. But here it's about respect for the victims and their families and to have an intelligent adult conversation from the police side.
They need to remember that that is a real person that they are talking to. It may just look like a little profile picture it may not even be the person's face, but there is a face behind that and there are feelings behind that, and they need to be careful what they say.
The church members I spoke with today say they are continuously offering support to the Wells family whenever they can. Reporting in Kingsport, Bianca Marais, News Channel 11.
Being sick over what's happened to Summer.
Summer's Sabbath school teacher, Robin Lane, tells me she's been at the center of social media accusations since her student's disappearance.
People just, they pick through everything you say and the way you say it. And even if your voice sounds a little shaky, it's nervous getting on camera sometimes. It's normal for us to be a little nervous sometimes when we're being asked questions. But people are just, they just attack every single little thing that you say and do. And I just feel like it's not fair.
She's asking those on social media to think before they type.
That people who are messaging those mean things, that they need to remember that that is a real person that they are talking to. It may just look like a little profile picture it may not even be the person's face, but there is a face behind that and there are feelings behind that, and they need to be careful what they say.
The church members I spoke with today say they are continuously offering support to the Wells family whenever they can. Reporting in Kingsport.
So there you have it. Again, people could confuse the conversation that we have here. Jessica, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I support you 100%, DutyRon, always. Thank you. Soldier Girl, thank you for becoming a channel member back again. Appreciate you re-engaging on the channel member. Always great to have you. Again, we all misconstrue text messages, voice conversations. We take things a little different from, not everybody absorbs or takes things that people are saying the proper way. We see it constantly. We see it on social media. We see it on direct messages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You send something where you think you're making a joke to somebody and they take it seriously. So my point of this is that if you see a creator that's like myself, I said right away, I didn't like the story. I didn't believe it 100%. And I still stand to that to this day. But that is not me saying, go get them. That's not me. I'm not saying go get them, go attack these people. I'm saying just take what I'm saying coming from experience, and same thing with police off the cuff and some of the great retired law enforcement that have the channels and the platform where they can come and give you information from an investigative point. Thank you for becoming a member, Mandy. Great to have you. Thank you for being a new member. Don't take that as a charge. It's information so we can understand the case from the side where we're not getting information from. We get frustrated because law enforcement is not telling us everything that they're doing, but they're doing it so they could put together the proper case and perhaps bring justice forward, bring closure, So, don't misconstrue the message. Sunnyside, thank you so much. I love that name, Sunnyside. Has just become a YouTube member. Thank you for being a channel member. I appreciate it. send me an email, the new channel members, so I can put you in the channel members group and the Discord group. You're entitled to that for being a channel member. It's a Facebook group. No bashing, no hating. None of my groups, I allow that, because if anybody does it, they get removed and blocked. It's all about respect. You know, we can have these conversations without being nasty, you know. There's no need for it. So again, you know, there's a lot of people that are around the Wells family that need to be looked at over and over again. And rest assured, mark my words, law enforcement is looking at everybody, not just the parents, not just the son of the parents, and the kids have been interviewed. It's everybody. Everybody that's around this family, everybody, cousins, second cousins, family members, even the guys that he was roommates with when he was in the penitentiary. When Don went to jail, they're going to even go and perhaps interview some of the ex-cellmates, whether they're still incarcerated or out. They will be paid visits. Doctors, dentists, if this child was gone to a pediatric dentist, teachers, I know she wasn't in school, but everyone in the church interviewed, postal, if they go to the post office to get their mail and they don't get actual mail deliveries, some of the rural places, you don't have a post office person that comes to your house. Thank you, Mercy Lady. DutyRon, thank you for calling out the inappropriate behavior. You have to. Somebody's got to do it, and I don't agree with it. I think it's mob mentality. I think it's criminal. It's criminal behavior. Postal people, garbage people, how the garbage is picked up. They'll speak to those people. Any UPS, if the UPS delivers out there, FedEx, Amazon deliveries. Everybody's going to get interviewed and ask questions. Michelle P., thank you for becoming a member. Those of you who become members and subscribe, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys 100%. You know that this is a community where we talk about some tough things, but we do it with respect and dignity. So again, everybody and anybody is going to get questioned and looked at. Teachers of the boys, the older kids in the family, all of the siblings, their teachers will be interviewed. They will be spoken to, asked questions pertaining to Summer and the family. Wild Horses, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. So everybody and anybody gets looked at. There's no stone that gets left unturned here. You're looking at every interaction, work where Don works, his boss, his coworkers, the people who he was friends with in the past, the people who he's currently friends with. Gemma, thank you for the super love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Much love and respect from my house to yours. I know you like to use that, Gemma. Thank you for being here. Again, this is a wide investigation. It's going to take some time to figure it out, but I'm confident that between forensic, all of the forensic scrubs on her cell phone alone, she seems, as we know, very active on social media, her phones, his phones, all of that stuff. They got a lot to go through, a lot of search warrants and subpoenas to get the records from the cellular carrier. All of this is going to come into play in finding out what happened to Summer Wells. And when we lose track of what's important, always circle back to Summer Wells. Always circle back to her and what this is about. Because when we lose focus on that, then the purpose of what everyone's doing is just, it goes down the tubes. Let me just get a quick thing up here. Again, Civis Bank is the bank that does the reward money. I sent $500 to Civis Bank with Trevor Lee. So this channel has contributed 500 US currency towards the reward money for Summer Wells. This is an overview of the location where she went missing. It's just going to give you a quick swirling spin right in the middle where the red Marker is 110 Ben Hill Road. Police Off the Cuff, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that, Bill. Thank you, brother. Everybody, if you're not subscribed yet to Police Off the Cuff, there he is, checking in with a super sticker. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it, brother. So let's get a look at this location. That's straight down drone view of the house. Right here is the home where she went missing. It's in the middle of nowhere, folks. As you can see, this is as rural as it gets. As rural as it gets. You know, I like to look beyond the where the home is. You know, you got flat plains. So if she did mosey on down and ran away, she would have been found already. So, you know, the abduction theory is still on the table, but highly doubtful in my mind. The accident theory is, if I had to rate it on percentage, you know, I'd put that in a decent percentage. Accidental death, and then they panicked and covered it up. I mean, I wouldn't put that at 90%. But you know, only time will tell, and we need to leave it in the hands of the investigation. And all of the folks, again, pointing fingers and toxic behavior and such, it just doesn't hurt it doesn't help anything. It hurts, you know? So let me say special thank you to Joe Murray for the $10 super chat. Joe Murray is a criminal defense attorney, retired New York City police officer. He says hello to the DutyRon community. Joe, I was wondering where you went. I didn't know if you went on vacation, but I was wondering where you've been. But it's good to see you. Thank you for joining. Heidi Zip sends in a super sticker of $3.99, $4 Canadian. Thank you, Heidi. Much love and respect. Let me look at the chat before we close it up. 46 minutes of a lot of talk, a lot of discussion. We covered a lot of good stuff. We talked about the Amber Alert and why it was removed. If you missed the beginning of this video, go back to the beginning, because the first 5 to 10 minutes, we talked about why the Amber Alert was removed and the potentials for it, and some key wording in what Amber Alerts are about, and why I feel that the abduction theory that DonWells is sticking to, that police are no longer buying that cup of soup, that bowl of soup. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Jennifer Rebecca. Appreciate that. Let's look at some of this chat. Why abduction and not she wandered off and got stuck in some problematic position with no human interference? Why is this not a theory? Nothing is not a theory. There is nothing that's not on the table. Jesse SX, good question. Is it probable that happened? Probably not, because they searched for over 4.6 acres. They searched and researched so much from the air, ground, and scuba. They've gone into bodies of water looking for her. So let me look at the next one. Mary Martin says, DutyRon, so many lies in this case. Something really strange is going on in that area. Mary, I happen to agree with that. And I think misconceptions of those stories, these are stories that are being told. I don't buy any of the stories that have been told by the parents. I don't buy one of them at all. Again, I don't have access to the case file. None of us do, but it all stinks to high heavens to me, and I'll stick to that. I will stick to that. Let me see what else. I'm a one-man show here, so I'm trying to get to some questions that look good. Do they have a victim support person working with them? Betsy, that would be a guess on my behalf. I don't think so. I think that in the middle, in the beginning of it, maybe, but probably not now. Maybe somebody from the church. Tessie Cooper says, you need a drink, DutyRon. I got one. I got a drink. I'm drinking agua. H2O. It's hot in New York. It's really hot. Do you think the Amber Alert should be broadened? I don't know. It would be a guess. The law enforcement that's doing the case would know that. The law enforcement on the case, TBI, FBI, they would have a better view of that. All right. Let me go to super sticker. Catherine, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Much appreciated. Amy Lou Who says, yes, they have a victim support people. They have a victim support people. I don't know. It's never been confirmed to me. It's never been confirmed. Sunnyside Eggs, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Factual Breakdown says, I love the host of Police Off the Cuff. What a great channel to subscribe to. Check it out. Yes. My friend Bill Cannon, his channel is growing like wildfire. I encourage everyone to go over to Police Off the Cuff and subscribe. He's awesome. I'm just trying to look at some questions and then close it up. Hold on. DutyRon, why no search warrants at this point? Jess Nelson, mistrial, good question. We don't know that there's not been any search warrants because some search warrants get sealed and they conduct them and they're sealed. So search warrants don't have to be released to the public. So search warrants of phones and electronics probably have already happened. So, and we don't necessarily know about that. It may come out in a presser in the future. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Joe Murray says, I'm just catching up on the chat. Got here late. Love you all. This is a great community. I learned so much from you all. And we learned so much from you, Joe. So thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate everything that you do. Honesty Rage says, at DutyRon, how do you feel about Jackie Dobbs, the man who had a fight with Don about his dog being on the property and was going to buy the adjoining property? His Facebook page is very suspect. Honesty Rage, a good question, but my answer is I don't pay attention to, I don't even know who Jackie Dobbs is, because to me, I don't go down that rabbit hole. Maybe I should look at that, and thank you for directing me to it. So maybe I'll take a peek at it now. So I really can't answer that, because to me, if law enforcement isn't talking about it, which they aren't talking about anything right now, then I don't go and start, going into areas that are dead ends. Perhaps, but I'll say this: if they had a fight and there's suspect stuff on his Facebook page, law enforcement already knows about it. If we're talking about it, or if you've been talking about it, everything that's happening on the internet, law enforcement is monitoring it. And guys like Bill Cannon and Joe Murray and all of the folks who are retired law enforcement will tell you the same thing. You can ask that question till you're blue in the face. You're going to get the same answer. Law enforcement is monitoring actively all social media, because there is where they could get some tips. It's no secret. They do it on all cases across America, across the world for that matter. Denise Spalding, thank you for the $50 super sticker. Denise, very generous, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Anything else? I'm going to do a call-in. Everybody here in the chat, I don't know how many guys are here, guys and girls, 850. By a show of hands, by putting a 1, would you like a call-in show where you can call in decent conversation, not toxic nonsense, because I won't allow it. A decent conversation, meaning, good questions, law enforcement related. Put a 1 in the chat if you'd like that. Let's see how many people. Put a 2 if you're not into that. I won't allow everyone to talk over each other. It's going to be one person at a time, controlled and really law enforcement focused, not rumor mill focused, not toxic focused. Oh, wow. A lot of 1s. Wow. Okay. So I think the consensus is that everybody wants that. Another poll for you guys to talk about. I have DutyRon pens. These pens right here, I've had them for a long time. And it says DutyRon on YouTube, Retired NYPD Detective. It's got a little stylus on the end, and it writes in black ink. Let me know in the chat if you would be interested in a giveaway for some of these pens. I have like 50 of them. I'd like to do a giveaway, but I don't know how to do it, how to do the giveaway. I got to think about it. But let me know by putting a 1 in the chat if you'd be interested in a DutyRon pen giveaway. Special thank you to Dr. Ed Moskowitz and Julie. If those of you who here in the chat know, Dr. Ed and Julie are from the Midwest. I'm not going to give away their location or their address, obviously, but they were kind enough to send a beautiful watch. They sent me a beautiful watch in the mail at my P.O. box, and I'm going to show you. It's an Invicta watch. I mean, I'm not a big watch person, but this thing is beautiful. So I received this watch from Dr. Ed Moskowitz and Julie, his wife. A beautiful Invicta watch. Heavy, like it's heavy duty. It's beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see that good. It's a gorgeous watch. So I want to say thank you to you guys for sending that to me. And Sheila from Ireland mailed Mrs. DutyRon a beautiful bistro light up sign for our kitchen. I don't have that down here because my wife hooked it up. It's in our kitchen and it says bistro. And I'm going to put it in my community tab, in my community post. But Sheila from Ireland sent to the P.O. box a beautiful sign from Mrs. DutyRon. It says bistro and it lights up. It's freaking gorgeous. So Sheila, thank you. Thank you to everyone who is kind enough to send gifts and cards. And I mean, I get so many cards. Here's another card from, I mean, so many thankful, thoughtful things come in. I mean, when I went to the P.O. box the other day, I had so many things. So thank you to you guys for sending in the thanks and encouragement for DutyRon and the channel and all of our great guests. Everybody enjoy Lisa Lockwood. She was on. She's a Law and Crime Network host and contributor. She's a crime analyst, media contributor. Lisa Lockwood, I thought she was a big hit. She gave out some really good information, and I got a lot of great positive feedback from Lisa Lockwood on this story. Candace, we talked about the Candace Wells, DonWells, Summer Wells case. We talked about Orrin and Orson West. Oh, a special thank you to Meg Lowe for this bracelet. This not bracelet, but I can't get it around my wrist. But it's a St. Michael's police prayer. Really nice. So she sent me this. It's got the blue line with it's like a keychain holder, actually. So thank you to Meg Lowe. And she did this while she was recovering from her surgery. She probably sent that before she had the surgery, but thank you, Meg Lowe. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So yeah, Lisa Lockwood was awesome. Guys, again, let's continue to cover this case. Let's continue to follow it. I will be on with Bill Cannon tomorrow night at 9 o'clock or 9:30. We're going to have a panel and we're going to discuss further the Summer Wells case. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, 9 or 9:30 on Police Off the Cuff, I will be special guest of Bill Cannon, and we're going to deep dive into this case. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So make sure you go over and subscribe to Police Off the Cuff. I'll link his channel down below. So let me just see. Keg, K-E-G says, I am not tech savvy, but I'd love a pen, but wouldn't know how to receive one. I can't send them outside the country. Gypsy, thank you for becoming a channel member. Gypsy Soul, much love and respect. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who supports. Remember, follow me on all things social media, all one word, DutyRon. To get one of these pens, you got to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram and Twitter, go make a free account and sign up for Twitter or Instagram and follow me, because it's going to be one of the requirements to get one of these pens. So that's going to be one of the requirements to get a DutyRon pen. These pens are awesome. Lisa Lockwood was a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. She has so much wisdom and experience. Thank you, DutyRon, for having her on. Hope46SF. Thank you. Thank you. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter. Those are the two things that requirements for someone to receive one of these pens. And another requirement is you have to unfortunately be in the United States. So you got to be in the United States. Nikki, thank you for becoming a channel member. Much love and respect to you. Better Angels, $15 super chat. You're awesome. Thank you, DutyRon. Thank you. Thank you for the support. As you guys know, the support goes forward. I pay the support forward. Again, we put $500 to the reward money of Summer Wells. It's gone out. I'd like to purchase a couple of your pens to go with my DutyRon pad. JR, send me a message on DutyRon.com. I will send you one of these, as long as you're in the United States. JR, you're in, because you bought some merch. So I want to send this to you. Going to Instagram and Twitter, says Soldier Girl. Yes, I'm going to look for the new followers on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll make a note of everybody, and we'll put you in the hat. And we're going to get. I'm going to try to. Josh is going to come up with a way for me to give away 10 of these. I think I'll give 10 away, and if 10 isn't enough, we'll do another 10. So to start out with, 10 lucky people are going to be getting this DutyRon pen. Anyways, all right, guys, an hour is enough. I don't want to do more than an hour. As I like to end all of these things, please, before I go into my ending, be kind to one another. Don't bash each other because of your opinions and your theories, but be respectful, because understand this: the children, the family, the relatives, the people who have nothing to do with the disappearance, potentially, watch and listen. So words have consequences. Just like I said in the Chris Watts case, you know, folks are still talking about conspiracy theories and swirling rumors. It's a case that has been closed since 2018. We're in 2021. Frank Rusek went in 2019, I believe in June of 2019, after a year and change, went to his daughter's home and made a plea with everyone to stop. Nobody listened, because fast forward to 2021, here in July, people are still doing it. They're still talking about theories and conspiracies and craziness. Let's not let that happen here. Let's let law enforcement figure it out without being subhumans, without being criminal, like a criminal activity. Let's not become that person. If you see someone doing it, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because you see somebody else doing it, don't jump on the pile. Be kind to people. You never know what someone's going through. You could be the difference between life and death for somebody. Cyberbullying is a big deal, man. It causes people to take their lives. So as I like to end all this stuff, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. God bless each and every one of us. Be kind to each other. All the victims of crime and their families, sending strength, love, and positive vibes to them. And any assistance that we could be by being kind and talking in a sensible way. Good night from New York City, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace and love from DutyRon.